Dig the Falls here. Dig the Falls is a outdoor organization, volunteer-based. We try to clean up trails. We try to get trails built. We're helping local communities, local municipalities, local volunteer groups, just try to make the outdoors better for everyone in the community. I'm Ed Smathers, founder of Dig the Falls. Been doing this since 2005. And, we do this live thing every Tuesday night, or try to anyway, just to talk about random stuff and our hikes and the projects that we have going on. I have with me tonight Stash Russin. Stash, you want to introduce yourself?
What's going on, everyone? I'm Stash Russin, hiker of the Catskill Mountains mostly. I'm there almost every day, or not every day, but every week, maybe twice a week. I on the search and rescue team of Catskill Mountains. Trailhead volunteer, trail maintenance volunteer, former 3500 second vice president. A bunch of other crap, a little bit too much stuff on my shoulders, but it was a good run.
you
see
handle
how
it
long
well.
that lasts. We'll see how long that lasts. That's why I got this and drinking.
Excellent. What are you drinking tonight?
Rum and Coke.
Excellent. Good choice.
It's like my go-to thing. It's either a rum and Coke or like an Awestruck or a wine.
Yep. I've been doing Scotch and local whiskey for a while now, and I've slowed down because I want to get the taste back in my tongue, because some of that stuff is pretty strong.
maybe I should do that.
Yeah. So so you mentioned you went on a hike today?
Yes, I went on a hike today and Sunday.
Today and Sunday. Excellent.
So today we did Hunter Mountain, second tallest peak in the Catskills. Got a fire tower up top. Nice. Got really lucky with the weather because I was nervous about it being so warm and humid. And luckily the clouds were clinging to the mountains in the Catskills. So,
excellent. Okay.
Unfortunately, there was no views. We got a view at the lean-to below a little bit of some mountains, but up top they were encased in the clouds, and it was actually amazing. I did like a time lapse of the clouds flowing over, and it was like, I think it was only like a minute and 15 seconds put into like 20 seconds, but the clouds were going so fast. So I'll have to post that. I forgot about that.
So how warm was it up there with the clouds and everything?
I would say at the top it was around, I would have to say around like 72 degrees.
Okay, that's not bad actually. That's nice.
Not bad. And then down below it was like 85.
Yeah. I know. Here it got to about 85 too. I usually around, days like this I keep the kids inside because they're so low to the ground and they're running around the whole time that I just can't do it. So
I usually don't. When I drive home, I usually don't drive home with the air conditioning on. But the past couple of days I have been.
Nice. Wow. So what'd you do on Sunday then?
Sunday, my wife Jessica and I did Fly Mountain over in the Catskills.
Nice.
It's a bushwhack. So the trail is sort of a bushwhack, but it follows state boundary lines of private property.
Okay.
So every twist and turn is along the state private lines, and there's a blue marker
oh, nice.
on the tree.
Yep. Okay.
So it's not a bushwhack. Nowhere near it.
Yeah, so that's not like one of the ones that, because you mentioned a bushwhack several months ago that you went on, that basically everyone's kind of chosen to create their own little side trails to kind of.
Yeah, at the summit, a lot of places once you get closer to the summit, there's all these connecting trails, and it's really odd and confusing, and it sort of sucks because you're like, oh, should I go over here? And then you do go over there and you create even that bigger herd path, and somebody will choose this way.
Right.
So it still takes up like the footpath still gets traffic. So that means it's crap. So and then there's still herd paths everywhere. So usually at the summits, there's at least 4 or 5 different herd paths directing outward. So.
Wow. So it makes you wonder how many of those little herd paths kind of create instances where search and rescue is actually called.
Yeah, we haven't gotten that many.
Okay.
Well, we haven't gotten really any this year, so we're surprised.
Oh, nice.
But also a lot of a lot of social media and stuff like that. The internet is helping a lot
Oh, okay.
here. I
Helping.
mean,
Okay.
I know from my friends up in New Hampshire that they get screwed all the time.
Hmm.
But also, that's a whole different story when there's 8 trails going up to Mount Washington instead of one
Oh,
trail going
right.
up to Hunter Mountain.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
interesting to hear you actually say that social media is actually helping in this situation.
someone is people are
Yeah.
given some good information, and I learned my bushwhacking online. I
Excellent. Okay.
learned from doing it on YouTube, and I learned from experimentation from reading articles,
Mm,
and then I just went out in the field and I started trying it. So, and like I said, there's some people that ask stupid questions like, how long should it take me to get up to this top of the mountain?
right. Right.
You can't really answer that question because you don't know what kind of physical condition you are.
Hmm. Exactly.
And I get that
Yep.
question all the time, and I'm just like, I don't know if you're slow or fast or whatever. It'll take you whatever time it gets up there. So get a
Yep.
trailhead at 8 o'clock so you
Yep.
can get out by 8 p.m.
Exactly. It's funny you say you research on YouTube. It's really impressive the type of or the quality of content that's on YouTube right now. When it comes to almost anything, but hiking and proper gear and proper etiquette, everything is covered on YouTube now, and it's really it feels good to actually know that there's that much good content on there that you can reference.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only do so much with YouTube and social media and stuff. But once you
Hmm.
get your like hands on and somebody teaches you face to face,
Yep.
it's really it's really different, and it really like sticks in your head when you're there doing it hands on with some other person. I mean,
Yep.
I never I never learned uh, true GPS like when I was doing it by myself because I never had a
Hmm.
GPS,
Yeah.
personal locator beacon or something like that.
Right.
So luckily, when I had some friends in search and rescue that gave me a GPS thing, it was really neat to see
Yep.
how accurate it is and how on point it is and how easy it
Hmm.
is. Once you get somebody teaches you, you're just like, wow, that was pretty easy. When
Yeah.
online, somebody might go 8 different ways one time and then come back to the original post.
Oh, right. Yep. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, I think it all kind of lends to how well someone knows the subject too.
That's true.
Because if you're if you know a subject well enough, you could explain it to anyone, and it makes sense, right? Whereas like some people tend to kind of try to make it sound more difficult if they're not as educated in the subject.
Yep.
So yeah, so that's pretty cool. So we were actually talking a little bit about proper gear because of what you dealt with today. Going from the 85 degrees at the bottom to a nice 70, 72 at the top. What did you run across that was probably like the best piece of gear that you had today?
Of course, as always, shoes.
Yeah.
Grippy shoes because you might think that a fire tower going up to the top is a nice graded easy slope, but there's a lot of loose rocks. It looks
Hmm.
like they put fresh gravel down for the ATVs and stuff for the volunteers to get up top. So we were slipping all over the place. But I mean, if you have Converse on, you're going to be
Yeah.
crazy slipping on even on the easy stuff. So,
Yep.
but also like anything moisture wicking, like pants, shirts, underwear,
Now
socks.
you you say like moisture wicking. Obviously like the cotton is a no go, but like what is your kind of go to material for moisture wicking?
I'm pretty sure I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's 100% polyester.
Polyester. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I don't get the fancy $50 shirts and stuff like that.
Right.
I
Yep.
mean, I get like I know it sounds sad. I shouldn't be supporting the place, but Walmart, $9 shirts.
Yep.
I've never seen a difference between that and a $50 shirt that I've gotten,
Gotcha. Yep.
online. And then moisture wicking pants is a good one. So like, you're not they're not heavy on your legs
Hmm. Hmm.
like cotton is or jeans or
Right.
cargo pants.
Yeah, like something synthetic, right?
Yep.
basically. Yeah.
Polyester and synthetic
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
100% great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about some of the Under Armour stuff and things like that. I mean, I even splurged a little bit one Christmas and got my dad some Under Armour stuff, and he was super impressed. So I mean, no hate on the $50-$60 shirts and pants and stuff,
Oh yeah.
but you're totally right. I'm on board with getting something that I can wear for a few seasons and be good with it. Um,
Yeah.
I'm on the other side of the spectrum. I think we've mentioned this in the last couple of episodes. You're on one side end of the spectrum as far as how much you hike and the difficulty of the hikes that you travel on. Whereas I'm on the trails with the kids, and I'm not hitting much, and it's not very often. And I'm literally wearing what you said not to wear. So I've got I've got a cotton shirt on. I've got the cargo shorts. But what I think I do with the kids is number one, I talk to them all the time about the different things that we should and should not be doing. And we're on easy trail, so I don't have to go too far in depth. But I have good hikers that I have them wear. And maybe somebody that's watching this can kind of jump in the comments, but I find it difficult to find a reason to spend a lot of money on shoes that they're going to grow out of in like a year, if that makes sense. Because they grow
It
so
does make
quickly.
sense.
Yeah, I mean they grow so quickly that like within a year they've either destroyed the shoes or they've grown out of them. So what I'll do is I'll shoot over to Target. I'll find something that's got some really aggressive soles on them, and go with those. If if I do know that we're going to be on trails that are going to be very muddy or very slippery or rocky, then I kind of change up the shoes a little bit. But it's kind of generally where I go with that. Um,
It
do
also depends on like, you know, what trails you're hitting. Like
mhm,
what you're hitting isn't have really like great elevation gains.
right,
So
right,
I mean, you're not
exactly,
going to need, unless you're doing like a 15-mile hike on that, you're not going to need synthetic and polyester and stuff like
hmm,
that. And if you're not moving at a fast pace, I mean, you're not going to be sweating that much. You still
right.
sweat, but that's also like for the big gains, like I did today, was over 2,000 feet of gain.
Yeah,
So
that's incredible. Yeah,
yeah, it was sweaty, and it helped when it makes it more comfortable instead of,
mm,
like I told my friend when he was hiking, I'm just like, we'll get you something because that cotton absorbs the water, your sweat,
hmm,
and then it weighs you down. I mean, it's not
right.
not much. And I'm not saying like pounds and pounds, but still, it's going to take hours upon hours to
Yeah,
dry. Where a synthetic or a polyester one will take
yeah,
not minutes, but if you're up top in a windy place, it'll take like 10 minutes to dry.
yeah. And it's not breathing either. I mean, if you've got that wrapped around you, you're not getting that breathing action
There you go.
either. So yeah, absolutely, makes total sense. So like obviously you want to have your water with you. What now? What do you carry? Do you just carry like a Nalgene bottle?
I have I have a lot. So my
Okay,
my pack, usually it's horrible. It weighs, like, even on the shortest of hikes, weighs around over 20 pounds.
nice. Okay,
And I
okay,
do I do a lot of, I have to, when I do search and rescue there, it's over 50 pounds. So
okay. Yep.
so I have a 3 liter bladder
Okay,
that I use. I have a Nalgene bottle, usually like a water bottle that I'll fill like a quarter of the way up with ice and tilt it, and
okay.
then put the water in there afterwards, so it keeps the water super cold.
Nice. Okay.
And then I
Yep.
always have, I don't know why, I always have an Arizona iced tea that I have when I have at the summit. Instead of a beer, I drink an
Yeah.
Arizona iced tea.
A little bit of sugar. There's nothing wrong with that. It's good.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay.
And
Yeah.
you?
It's funny. Jess and I were talking about that the other day, and with the kids, I've become a lot more conscious of bringing water bottles with me, and I hike it. I hike in with a pack now. I Let's back up a little bit. When I hiked by myself, like literally when I hiked by myself, I would take nothing unless I wanted my camera with me. So like I'd go out on a 5 or 10 mile hike by myself wearing jeans and a t-shirt.
Mhm.
And I'd have hiking shoes on. This is 20 years ago. Um, literally have nothing on me. So I'd get there and I'd get back, and that's it. But now, with the kids and with knowledge and experience, I'm a lot better about that. So I'll pack for the kids. I'll pack they have, I think it's 500 mil Nalgene bottles each for them. And then if Jess comes with me, she's got a bigger Nalgene bottle that we bring with us. I've got my backpack. I carry some of my foraging stuff, bags so we can pick up garbage.
Yep.
And then every once in a while, I'll also bring my fishing magnets so that if I get to a spot where I can toss it into a creek that I think is going to have some stuff in there, I'll bring that as well.
Nice.
Um, but literally, Jess was telling me the other day, you bring all this water for us, but you don't bring any water for yourself.
Mhm.
And and I drink water a lot. The last 2 years, I've started drinking a lot of water during the days. So geez, before the hike, I'll have probably, I want to say maybe 5 or 6 cups of water, and then once we get back, I'll get another probably anywhere between 5 and 10 cups of water after that. So I'm still getting my water in. It's just not during the actual hike.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not good, man.
yeah, I know. The good thing is, though, I mean, to be fair, these hikes, I think the longest one we take with the kids is usually about maybe an hour, hour and a half. And like you said, they're mostly flat, so
Yeah.
it's no big deal. But and I had a couple years ago, I had this sweet Nalgene bottle, and I'm a little soured because I lost it, and it had all my best stickers on. So
Oh man,
yeah,
yeah,
so yeah,
that's not
so
cool.
yeah, so it's like you have to start over, but then like, do you get a cooler bottle or do you get just the same one? I don't know. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it holds sentimental value with all the stickers. Trust me.
yes, absolutely. So it took me a couple years to to build those up too, but
Yep.
yeah. So but yeah, it keeps it light for me because I mean I know that if I need to, I can always pull off of one of the kids' bottles because they never drink the whole thing anyway.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so I mean, so we touched upon good footwear. We have the regular hiking shirts and pants. So water. Is there anything like weird that like you take with you that either people don't think about or just like it's unique to yourself?
Mm, uh, I mean, I take like everywhere I go, I take a splint
Okay,
and ace bandage.
okay,
I
okay.
don't. I
Is
don't
that
always. I
is
don't
it
always
because
take.
of like the search and rescue?
I do that because with the medical my medical gear like my med kit and stuff like that. It's for weird stuff for hardcore stuff like
Okay,
gashes and
yep,
but the
okay,
splint and the ace bandage could help somebody get off the mountain. And
yep,
from my friends, in search and rescue in New Hampshire, that's the one thing that they carry even outside of uh, search and rescue, just because twisting the ankle is
yep.
very, very, very common on the trails. So that could
Gotcha.
help somebody, by 50% instead of 0% of not having anything.
Nice. So how big is your splint that you take with you?
Oh God, I don't have my pack right here,
Was it like a
but
foot long or?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it's probably, well, actually, it's probably the size of my my half of my arm. So
Okay. Oh,
so
okay. Yeah.
it's pretty big. So it can fold up almost up to halfway up your leg.
Okay. Nice.
It's a big splint because you gotta. I mean, it's for
Yeah.
my search and rescue. So, and then
Gotcha.
I have a lot. The ace bandage, it's got to be at least 16 feet.
Oh, nice.
So
Excellent. Okay.
you can wrap and
Yeah.
wrap, make that thing extra strong.
Awesome. Okay. Where'd you
And
pick?
that's it.
Where? Oh, I was gonna say where'd you pick up the splint?
Online.
Online. Okay.
I have like a contact through search and rescue
Nice.
that
Okay.
they give us deals on if we buy
Yep.
certain amount of things, and that's the best. It could also be, I'll probably never do it, but it can be cut, so it can be like cut to a certain length. But I don't really. want to cut it because
Yeah. Yeah. No. No. Definitely
it
not.
costs
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. Sean, man, thanks for joining. Yeah. I mean, I think from what you're saying, I'll probably do the same because I actually like that. Um, the splint idea is actually a really cool idea. And I think this week I'll go out. I'll get, and you're right. I need to do better for myself as far as at least the water. Because I am horrible when it comes to the water. I always have been, and I grew up, where my dad would take us to say Letchworth Park or hike some of the local ravines, and we'd be hiking for hours and literally take nothing with us. And that's just kind of how we grew up, and so we go down in jeans and a t-shirt, swim in a couple of swim holes for a couple hours, and then walk back up and jeans or wet jeans and t-shirts. So
I mean,
um,
but that's a whole different story from than what I deal with.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
to be honest, like I know it sounds like it's nothing like the Adirondacks and stuff. The Catskills, you could wobble on down the mountain and you'll find a stream or
Yeah, true.
a
Okay.
thing. I mean, when you're in Letchworth, you're probably going to see a lot of other people because it's kind of popular.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, Same thing
Totally.
with like Watkins Glen and Ithaca and stuff like that. But when you're out in the middle of nowhere, you definitely gotta care for yourself,
Yeah.
and that's why I carry certain things to care for others as well, because you never
Hmm.
know. Like I've had so many friends, so my search and rescue friends from New Hampshire. They've gone up a mountain, and all of a sudden there's a person on the side of the trail who's broken their ankle or rolled their ankle,
Oh, wow.
and luckily they have like more than the 10 essentials, and they have the
Hmm.
splint and they have the wrap, and they can get the person down a little bit and at least to safety. So I was
Yeah.
like, why not?
Yeah.
What's 2.5 pounds.
Yeah. I was gonna say a couple pounds, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same
Okay.
thing. God, what is the other thing? People, maps.
Yep.
I've never understood. I mean, I've always had maps on me. Have I used them all the time? No, because I am with maps. I can look at something online and it's stuck in my head
Yeah.
till the day I die.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but maps, our Catskill maps weigh not even a pound,
Right. Right.
and they're waterproof, you know, water resistant stuff like that. I'm
Yep.
just like, why? What's the big deal? Even
Yep.
with the ultralight people.
Yeah. Sean's right. Map and a compass, because if you don't have the compass, the map is only what, two-thirds there. So
Yeah,
um,
it's
yeah.
it's not. I mean, if it, and that's it's definitely more critical for the mountains and not
Hmm.
for waterfalls and stuff. You just follow the waterfall all the way down.
Right.
And
Right.
when you're in the mountains, you definitely maps help, especially
Hmm.
in the high areas and the high peaks and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So you're like, oh crap, I'm going over this bump. Am
Hmm.
I going south or north? Is this another bump that I already went over?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting you say that too. Is like, so yes, the maps and the compasses and all this stuff, they really really help you out in those situations. But what's nice is you can actually practice if you're going to an easier area, or like an area that you know really well. You get to actually really kind of practice and get to know those tools. So when it does come to actually having to use them, you can use it properly, right?
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a great skill to have. It's a great skill to teach.
Yeah.
Um, I think at almost every drill and meeting we try to like go over it. Just map and compass. I mean, most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, we're not going to use a map and compass when we're grid searching. We're going to mostly have our GPS on our
Okay.
phone,
Yeah. Hmm.
usually because we need to mark where we are and we need to record our data.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we still have a map and compass to get to the point that they need us to get to and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Because
Well,
they're going to always tell us it's just a great skill to have, and
yeah.
there's so many ways that you can learn it online. There's some simple people and there's some complicated people,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
learned it from the simple people. A guy who was only a hunter, and he says this is step from point A to point B,
Hmm.
shows how to do it. He says, you're gonna pause it right now, check it out, see if you came out, and then right after you're done pausing it, you play it, and he shows you what it should be. And I'm just like, this guy is an average human being, but he is a genius because he teaches it in the simplest of ways.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like, I think making it as simple as possible so people can, you know, come into it without being just overwhelmed immediately. And
Yep.
I think that's super important. Sean says orienteering courses. I haven't heard of orienteering courses, but that's probably because I haven't needed to yet. Um, but that sounds actually something I'm going to look up after this call. But so, what is the one major mistake that you find people make, whether it be with your SARS group or with the less experienced, when it comes to the map, compasses, and different things like that?
I would have
Feel
to
like
say that they're just not really prepared for the hike. They don't know what they're getting into. Like when we had the trailhead stewards at Slide Mountain, people took pictures of the map. So they were like, "Oh, this is how you get up here." So I'm like, in my head, I'm saying, "Oh, you didn't do your research before you did this." So like, I mean, I'm a crazy psycho about that stuff when we go to other places. Like I know where we're going, what trail we're taking, stuff like
mm,
that. Like we went out to Arizona, the Canadian Rockies. I
oh
knew
yeah,
I knew everything, and but
nice.
I didn't roll into a trailhead and be like, huh, well this is how you get there. That's cool. So it's just takes a simple search online, and then you could find somebody posted a track. Usually you can see anything. I know
Okay.
I hate the app. I really hate All Trails. I think it's a horrible, stupid app because they don't use vital information. They just gather everybody's information. It's stupid.
That's tough.
Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
I know a lot of people use it. I use it for one reason, and that's to find the trailhead.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, and like I look at like people's comments, and there's a comments like, "Oh, this was an easy one. Uh, Views are great," and then somebody would be like, "I almost died on this."
Oh
So
man, seriously.
like a bunch
Oh
of
wow.
places we did in the Shenandoahs, I looked there, and it's like people. It's just like only 1.7 miles. This was easy.
Right.
Yet it was 1.7 miles of maybe like 1,500 feet of gain.
Oh wow.
So like I see a bunch of old people on there that are asking a quarter of a mile in how much further to the summit.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
like, oh yeah, I mean you're a quarter mile in, you only have like 1 mile left, but you also
Yeah.
have 1,300 feet of gain left.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So I mean it's just people are don't do their research beforehand. So
Yeah, and it troubles me that there's not a weighting factor that kind of goes into people saying whether it's easy or not. Like, because easy to me may not be easy to the 90-year-old man. But if the 90-year-old man had been hiking his entire life and he's hit all the major peaks in the US, then maybe it might still be easy to him.
yeah,
There should be a weighting factor to that kind of draws that closer so everyone kind of understands.
yeah,
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think the prior research is kind of huge. I know I'm not OCD about the prior research, but I do like to, at the very least, I study the hell out of the map at the trailhead. Like, I know prior to going to a trail, you know, what it's about, what I'm gonna expect there, and things
exactly.
like that. But yeah, I'll study the hell out of at least the trailhead map.
Yeah,
Um, and I haven't had need for an actual, you know, topo map or anything like that to take with me. But again, I'm not doing hikes like you are, or, a lot of the other people are.
yeah.
So
It's I mean, it's like you said. I mean, it all comes down to what level of difficulty you think you're getting into. I mean, most people don't think that 2 miles is a long hike, but it also depends on the amount of gain you have.
Right.
So in two
Right.
miles, it could gain 300 feet, which is an absolutely amazing hike. It's an easy as heck. But then you could have 2 miles of 1,500 feet of gain,
Yeah.
and that could happen within the last mile, and
Okay.
that's not fun.
Right.
It's no, it's fun. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's real fun.
Well, it is fun, but yeah, for
It's very fun for me. I love that stuff.
what's funny is like I'm not familiar enough with all trails to know whether or not they do like with Wikiloc you actually get a trail profile. So with it shows you the trail, but it also shows you the elevation gain during the trail.
Yep.
Does all trails do that as well?
I have no clue. I've never
Okay.
used all trails for recording.
Okay. Okay.
I've only used it for like for trailhead locating to be an exact spot, because
Gotcha.
I've always read online stuff, and then they're like Google Maps is way different
Yeah.
than something else. So
Yep. Oh yeah.
I use all trails for where I see where they record the beginning of their hike, and
Hmm.
then I write it down and map it out.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah. It's
all trails have gotten, oh man, up in the White Mountains,
yeah.
just everybody will post like things of all trails, and like,
Oh
oh, I'm
no.
stuck on this mountain. All trails told me to go this way, and they went down that way.
Of course.
And
Of
it's
course.
absolutely like, like a lot of people go up um, on Mount Washington. They'll go up
Okay.
Tuckerman Ravine and then down Lion's Head.
Okay.
And there's Tuckerman Ravine, and then somebody will go over the top, get lost at the top because they have this weather station, and then
Okay.
head down into the Gulf, the Great Gulf, and that's absolutely treacherous area.
Wow.
So, and they'll
Fantastic.
be like, all trails told me to use this. Don't blame it on all trails.
Yeah. Wow. You would hope at some point someone kind of holds all trails accountable for all the money they're costing some of these search and rescue teams. But
Mm, it's
yeah.
not all trails' fault. It's stupid people.
Well, fair. Okay.
I mean, you could, I when I record my hikes, I use 3 different apps.
Okay.
I use Wikiloc,
Yep.
however you say it.
Wikiloc, yeah,
Yeah,
whatever it is. Yeah.
Wikiloc. I use
Okay.
Avenza Maps, because you can download the uh, different maps of different state forests and stuff like that. So
Oh, that's cool.
it's like the
Yeah.
same exact thing as buying a real map.
Yep.
I also use Gaia GPS, because that's
Yep.
also what we use in search and rescue.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I compare everything. Usually the Wikiloc and the Gaia are very, very close. The
Hmm.
Avenza map is absolutely off as hell. So
Oh wow. Okay.
I've
I know.
gotten straight lines from bottom to the top.
Oh wow. Jeez, that's terrible. Um, I know John Haywood really enjoys Gaia Map. So like
It's
he's a
definitely awesome.
yeah, he pushes that hardcore. So I have that, but I haven't had the need to even pull that up. I pulled it up a couple of times, but I'm not even familiar with the app yet. But Wikiloc, I had been using for quite a long time, and it did seem to be fairly spot on with
Yep.
with the GPS at least. Um, the biggest thing that I really enjoyed about that is, like I said, it shows you the elevation profiles as you're going along the hike, so you could kind of pull the cursor across and see what the elevation is in
Yep.
each one. So
It's pretty.
so
I like that app. I really do. I've
yeah,
been using that ever
yeah.
since you told me about it.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, yeah. Maybe we'll have to start a community on there at some point. But I think we've got too much going on right now. So, but anyway, I think we're kind of nearing the end. Is there anything that we kind of missed as far as equipment goes, or any kind of safety tips?
Like I said, the most crucial is proper footwear to me,
Hmm.
because any slipping or stuff like that, you could hit your knee.
Yeah.
You could slip backwards. I'm sorry to say, I've heard it happen. Is slip backwards, fall and hit a rock and break
Yeah.
your shoulder or something like that. So I
Yeah.
always,
Yeah.
you don't have to splurge and get $300 shoes. I mean, I get $120 shoes from Merrill, and
Hmm.
I've worn. I haven't said that I've worn the same exact make of theirs for the past 6 years, 7 years.
Nice. Yeah.
And I've had to change them probably every like 150 miles.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it's very critical in loose stone, slippery rocks, dirt, mud. You know, having Nikes on is not really going to help you when it's slippery, slopey, and then you slip and you hit your face on a rock.
Right. Right. Absolutely. I mean, honestly, like some of the pairs of shoes that I go on with the kids, I'm slipping around, and they've got good tread. I'm still slipping around. So my Merrells, I'll slip sometimes with those as well. So, yeah, the best shoes in the world aren't going to always cause you not to slip, but they're always going to be better than, you know, Nike, trail running shoes and crap like that.
Yep.
So yeah, totally makes sense. You have any shout outs before we jump off?
Uh, I would like to give a shout out to anybody that's doing search and rescue in New Hampshire right now. They're getting swamped with calls every day, and 95% of the people that do that are volunteers, which is absolutely amazing.
That's impressive. Wow. Okay.
They are absolutely
Very
phenomenal
nice.
human beings up there. The fishing game will report, and they usually, whenever a search and rescue happens, all the search and rescue volunteers are on standby.
That's awesome. Nice. Excellent. Um, my shout out is, I think I always kind of try to shout out the Dig the Falls team. You guys are always phenomenal, and I love being able to chat with you guys from time to time and just joking back and forth and just helping me out with maybe the questions that I have, and kind of keeping me in line when it comes to coming up with different ideas for Dig the Falls. So I appreciate that. And then I would say probably along the same line you're saying, Stash, except for all the volunteer trail stewards and local community groups, and just smaller organizations that every community needs to keep their local parks and wildlife areas and preserves clean and clear, and just up to date. There are several that we work with. One being Rensselaer Land Trust. They do a lot in trail building, trail maintenance, getting the volunteers out there. So thank you very much to all of those organizations as well.
Definitely.
But other than that, I appreciate everyone jumping on, and shout out to Bobby's Waterfalls, shout out. Sean James and Bobby, thanks for jumping into the comments. Really appreciate that as well. But otherwise, we'll catch everyone else next Tuesday. We'll see you there.